Tesla is expected to announce some sort of autonomous vehicle robotaxi product on the 10th of October. But the reality is the market is already moving forward without Tesla. Uber already has partnerships with Cruise, a subsidiary of General Motors, and Waymo, a company that is owned by Alphabet. Both of these companies are deploying autonomous vehicles today, or robotaxis, so no driver, and they're scaling these businesses across a number of cities across the United States. Now, of course, the vision for Tesla is very different. They're attempting to go from a level 2 autonomous driving system that is vision only to basically a level 5 autonomous system that can take you essentially anywhere in the country or around the world. What Tesla is not doing is testing any of those systems in the states where they would be theoretically operating. So I want to go through what we know today and why I think Cruise and Waymo are actually the better bets in the robotaxi business than Tesla, because they're actually on the road. We have data behind them, and we're not talking about a theoretical product. We're talking about something that's proven and safe today. My name is Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. And thanks to this video sponsored by Motley Fool. If you go to fool.com/ASYM, they'll give you their top 10 stocks to buy right now. So let's get to who these two competitors are. The first that I want to highlight is Waymo. Waymo is owned by Alphabet. They have the most autonomous miles on the road of any company today, and they are currently launching Waymo 1. This is their robotaxi product. They're actually going to make a custom vehicle that Zeekr is going to make. That should be out potentially next year, but they are operational in Phoenix, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Austin. If you just look at their map in the Phoenix area, you can see that this covers a tremendous amount of space, 315 square miles in Metro Phoenix. So basically everywhere you want to go, from the airport all the way up through Scottsdale and down to Chandler. In Los Angeles, there's obviously a lot more space to expand to, but they're going all the way from Santa Monica up to West Hollywood. So a huge amount of area that Waymo is operating. And this is something that you can see on the road today. There are hundreds of vehicles in operation. So this is a real robotaxi that you can call through the Waymo app, or you can get a Waymo through Uber as well. I'll cover that in just a second. The other company deploying robotaxis today is Cruise. This is a Chevy Bolt, so a modified Chevy Bolt. What Cruise is going to be doing, they are owned by General Motors, but what they're going to be doing is next year they're going to be launching a Chevy Bolt that will be custom made for Cruise. They originally wanted to do this kind of mini bus design that had doors that opened a little bit like a bus. You could fit 4 people in there. Would be very custom made for specifically a robotaxi. But that's not technically legal to drive on the road without a steering wheel right now. So what they're going to do is they're going to leverage their new Bolt, bring a little bit more scale to that business, and modify that. So it will look a little bit better theoretically. But Cruise is now doing what they call manual driving and supervised driving in Phoenix, Dallas, and Houston. I'll go over where I think they have some operations in Austin as well, but there are at least those 3 cities where they are bringing their vehicles back to the road. If you're familiar with Cruise, there was an incident in the San Francisco area in October 2023 that actually pulled the company's vehicles from the road. Their CEO left. They kind of reconfigured everything that they're doing, and they're kind of starting from scratch from a robotaxi deployment perspective. So making sure that all of their safety measures are in order. They're working with first responders, all that kind of background stuff that isn't sexy, but you have to do if you're going to build a big robotaxi business. So Cruise has been doing that over the last almost a year now, and they are now back on the road. The big item for Cruise recently was they announced a partnership with Uber, where you're going to be able to call for a vehicle in Uber and then get a Cruise in the cities where they're available. This is basically the exact same partnership that Waymo has. So for Cruise, it builds out your ride-sharing network, or the demand side of what you're building. You could go through the Cruise app, just like you could go through the Waymo app, but Uber has an established customer base, so I think that's a great way to get into the market. And for Uber, it brings autonomous vehicles to their platform without ever having to develop or build those autonomous vehicles themselves. So probably a win-win for both of these companies. But when I say Cruise and Waymo are way ahead of Tesla in robotaxis, what I mean is that Tesla is not even testing these products in the market. This is from the state of California. They're autonomous vehicle testing permit holders. You can see that there are a ton of companies that have a permit to test autonomous vehicles. This is with a safety driver. So Apple has one of these, Cruise is here, Mercedes-Benz, Mobileye, Tesla is on this list. But then if you go down here to permit holders for driverless testing, the number of permits falls dramatically. Waymo is here and they have a ton of cities where they're able to operate. And Cruise actually left the California area. So it doesn't appear that they're going to be launching in California, at least in the near future. So we'll see what happens over the next few months. And then if you go to deployment without a driver, there are only 3 companies on this list. Mercedes-Benz, that may surprise you, but they actually have a level 3 autonomous driving system. There is Nuro, this is a relatively small company, and then Waymo. Waymo can operate not just in all of these cities, they actually have some areas where they are able to operate on the highway. That I don't believe is available to customers yet, but employees are using it. So that is the next step, is not just to be able to go on public roads, but also on highways at speeds of 60, 70 miles an hour. So that's a huge step forward for Waymo. The other big state to watch from an autonomous driving perspective is Texas. This is where Tesla is headquartered. So you would think if Tesla is going to be testing anything, they're going to be doing that in Texas. But let's look at some of the operators. And what I want to look at here is these little car symbols. So this is up in the Dallas area. You can see that Cruise is operating in Dallas. Here's another one here for Cruise. If you go down to Austin, you have Waymo. Volkswagen actually has some testing going on. That would be likely through Mobileye. Zoox, which is owned by Amazon. AV Ride, and then Cruise again. If you go down to Houston, this is another one of those areas that Cruise has said that they're going to be expanding. Who do you not see on this list? You don't see Tesla on this list because they are not testing any level 3, level 4, or level 5 autonomous driving in the states of California and Texas. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. So what we know today is that Uber, Cruise, and Waymo are all working together in one form or another to launch autonomous vehicles, to launch robotaxis into the market, to actually have real people riding in those robotaxis. The one company that does not have any of those products is Tesla. And even from a regulatory perspective, testing autonomous driving features, Tesla is not on this list. That means that it's likely going to be 2, 3, 4 years before Tesla will be allowed to drive fully autonomously on the road without some sort of a safety driver. There is nowhere in the US today that you're able to get a permit to have a completely autonomous vehicle without doing any sort of testing. So we need to go through that phase completely before Tesla would ever have some sort of robotaxi on the road. And we don't know exactly what the business model for Tesla is going to be. Even if they figure out autonomous driving, which they haven't done with the current versions of FSD, you may have noticed that they have now replaced FSD with supervised FSD, with FSD supervised in all of their documentation. So that means that they're really saying, so after a number of lawsuits, they are explicitly saying that this is a product that has to be supervised. They have not gotten to the point where you're able to go completely hands-free. Now, Musk has said in the past that they're going to at least build some sort of fleet themselves to start this robotaxi business. That may not be for a couple of years. By that time, we'll likely have thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of Waymo and Cruise vehicles on the road building this autonomous vehicle network, this robotaxi network. They will be potentially years ahead of Tesla. And that's if Tesla ever gets to the road with a vision-only robotaxi. I am skeptical that they will ever be able to do that. I'm certainly willing to be proven wrong, but I haven't seen any data to show that they will be able to drive Tesla vehicles with only vision, without a driver, and do that safely. So I think if you're interested in autonomous driving, 2 companies to watch is actually General Motors, trading about 5 times earnings. You basically get Cruise for free, and Waymo. So Alphabet, so you get the search engine, all of that, and you get the upside from Waymo. Don't think you're paying a lot for that either. I think those are much better risk-reward benefits from an investor perspective than Tesla is today. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.